Alright, 8th graders, Mr.Berardo. Short first assignment this week. Next week, the second one will probably be a little bit longer. We talked about D-Day. A lot of you, and I honestly haven't even looked at it yet, but I'm sure there was a bunch of information out there for you to grasp, and I'm sure you all did it because you're all so very chipper and ready to go and do it. So I'm gonna check it tomorrow. Anyway, D-Day's over. The invasion of Europe has begun. And by August 25th, 1944, France is a free country again. There is no more occupation. They were under occupation for 4 years, but now they are France again. They are going to have this counterattack right along the French border, and it's going to be called the Battle of the Bulge. A bunch of decent movies about that. You can go out there and you can find them and you can look them up. There's a couple things I put out there. There's a movie called, strangely enough, The Battle of the Bulge. It was made in 1965, but it's a really decent movie, and it kind of shows how everything's done. Band of Brothers is in there, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff out there you can find from like the 1960s, 70s, and probably early 80s. But just watching with mom and dad so they know they have an idea of what's going on, okay? Eventually, the United States is going to break through. Basically, the Germans are going to push in, and the battle lines are going to go like this, but when the Germans push in, it makes a big bulge in the battle lines, and eventually the United States and the Allies will break through, and they will push through it. Our goal for the rest of the war is really to defeat Germany first, but we're going to really destroy their ability to make war. We will fly pilots, bombing missions over Germany endlessly, day and night for a while. We're going to be doing it, bombing their factories, bombing their munition plants, bombing their strongholds. Basically, if you don't have tanks and guns and planes to fight a war, you can't fight a war. So that's what we do. You can kind of see this is the city of Hamburg in Germany. It's pretty much just blasted out. Berlin and other stuff like that. Berlin, oh my gosh, why can't I think of the other? Dresden. There's a whole bunch of them that were just literally almost leveled. There's nothing left of buildings. We firebombed them, and all you see is the outside shell of the building, and there's really nothing left. We bombed entire cities and just wiped them out. I mean, just really bad. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of missions to do that. Basically, only a matter of time before Germany loses. Soviets are coming in from the west. Sorry, the east. The Allies are coming in from the west. FDR dies on April 12th, 1945. So our president, that most people have only really known, or a bunch of them have only known their entire lives, dies. The guy who takes us out from the Depression, the guy who's going to lead us into war, through war, hopefully, he doesn't make it. He passes away. He doesn't live to see our victory. Hitler commits suicide on April 30th, 1945. A week later, the war in Europe is over on May 7th, 1945. Russians wanted it to be over by May 1st because that's a big Russian holiday, May Day, but it just didn't happen. There is going to be a whole bunch of other stuff that's going to happen throughout the rest of this European takeover, and we're going to talk about them. I mean, we didn't even touch on the Holocaust, but we will. We will touch on what happens in Nuremberg and other stuff, but this is a short one, and this is what it is. May 7th, 1945, the war in Europe is over. They call it V-E Day, okay? I want you to look that up for homework to see what it is. This is an iconic picture. Matter of fact, these two people didn't really even know each other. They weren't dating or anything like that. Sailor just kind of was walking down the street in New York City and just grabbed her and gave her a big old kiss, and just see everybody's just kind of happy because the war is over. This is something that's been going on for 4 years in America. The war in Europe is over. We have to talk about our Pacific battle now. Everything that happens that took place in Europe, now we're going to have to go back and we're going to have to go against Japan, which is going to be a much stingier problem. Do your homework. Do your work. Complete sentences on everything. Note it, he, she, it, they, because though you cannot start a sentence with that. If you do that, I will not count it. You know by now, you're in 8th grade. You know how to write a complete sentence. Get your work to me, please. And we will continue on with the Japanese side of the war on our next lesson. See ya.